Okay, this is going to be a weird video to try to make because yesterday while I was trying to make the video, I had a number of interruptions and I basically just had to end up sleeping on it. And some of the things that I was going to say yesterday, especially about Scott Mendelson, I guess they no longer quite apply anymore. But at the same time, I still feel like I just don't know what to make of the person. So I'm just in light of the post that he posted on Twitter this morning or yesterday, whatever, 20 hours ago. I guess I'll just have to take the approach that he might actually be an Alita fan, whereas before I was thinking he's just looking at the tides. He's looking at the way the wind is blowing. He sees that Alita is going to get a sequel, and so he is just jumping on the bandwagon so that he doesn't end up with egg on his face, right? So, or he doesn't end up looking like a naysayer. And if it turns out that Alita gets a sequel, then that'll look bad on him. But let's not forget that he was one of those who seemed to constantly be throwing some shade Alita's way whenever I'm trying to find a quiet place to talk. Some shade Alita's way whenever we got good news. There will always be something negative to it. So who knows what his real motivation was? Maybe he was really just an Alita fan in secret, or who knows really. But really, just let's get to the point here. So the point of this video is that he acknowledged the Alita fan base in his recent article about John Wick, and I also want to share an older one with you from Cinema Blend that I mentioned a couple days ago about the most recent one that Cinema Blend put up. But before I get to those, let me just show you my response. I'm still a little bit skeptical about the guy, so I just kind of joked around with him, saying that someone must have hacked his account, and we'll deal with it. We'll contact Twitter and deal with it. But let's get to those articles. Okay, this is where I'm going to start. But as a rule, especially when trying to launch a new franchise or get people hooked on a new cinematic world, you must make sure audiences want to see the lead character. Alita Battle Angel wasn't a huge hit at $85 million domestic and $405 million worldwide on a $170 million budget, but it performed above expectations and attracted a very, very passionate fan base. Because its lead character, played by Rosa Salazar, was a central focus of Fox's marketing campaign, and that character struck a chord with audiences. So there's one place where he acknowledged us, and also a little bit below that he says, "Come what may, Alita performed a heck of a lot better than the likes of The Mortal Engines, Jupiter Ascending, and Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. And if we get an Alita sequel, it'll only be because there's interest or potential in the future and the further adventures of its title character." Now, I don't believe that is the only reason. I'm sorry about this noise. I don't believe that's the only reason Alita will get a sequel. It's not going well right now. Okay. All right. Can't find a quiet place to make a video these days. So, yeah, that's not the only reason. I think this is a passion project for James Cameron. Most of us know that. This is something that he's been waiting on for a long time. He's been waiting on the technology, and now he has Robert Rodriguez to also help out. And so I think this thing is going to happen. The sequel is going to happen, and I'm expecting it around at first I was hoping for 2021, but that might be a little more complicated. I was looking at the schedule well, since Alita's not on the Disney schedule, so I'm not worried about that. I'm pretty sure it's going to Paramount. But um, since Avatar is now releasing it in late 2021, which is when I was hoping Alita could be released, Alita 2 could be released, I'm just going to say maybe early 2022, somewhere in 2022. That's when I'm expecting it, or hoping for it at least. 2023, I think it's just too far out. Uh, but we'll see. We'll wait, of course, if we have to. But anyway, so moving on to the next one. So this older article from Cinema Blend. Let me just go up to the top. Some of you may remember me sharing this on Twitter. 6 reasons Alita Battle Angel deserves a sequel. And here it says, right around here. Actually, a little bit lower. Sorry. No, it was a bit higher. Let me go back up. The first place it was mentioned. All right, so this is horrible. Oh, I right past it. Okay. In addition, the Disney-Fox merger is now complete, and that feels like another factor that might work against this project. Still, there's no denying that a vocal corner of the internet would like to see another adventure come to theaters in the near future. So, a vocal corner of the internet. And what's odd is that I could point something out like this out on Twitter, and some people, some haters, would still deny that that's even talking about us Alita fans. Like, who else would it be talking about? But anything to try to make the people, to make you feel like you don't have a voice. That's what people will do. And so below that, I guess reason number 1 for Alita deserving a sequel is that people want a sequel. So it says that while Alita Battle Angel has put in a solid effort at becoming a blockbuster hit, it still isn't a mega success on the level of something like a Marvel Studios film. This was before the film made $400 million, by the way. Yet, if you poke around on the internet, there's no shortage of people who want to take a return trip to the world of Iron City. So that would be us, the Alita Army, us who are showing support, positive support for the movie, not harassing or not attacking other movies necessarily, but just showing positive support for Alita. Now, there's something else that I'm going to cover here, and that is the recent change to Rotten Tomatoes. And let's just get to that. I archived it, don't want to give them too many views. And in this, if you ask me, it pretty much confirms that they are biased and that they select critic reviews based on their political leanings. I had a person yesterday who tell me when I had mentioned something. What did I say? It was it was either an IGN post or something else about this, and I said that the movie, because we all know that what these changes came about for. They came about because of Captain Marvel. So I posted that it wasn't the fact that there were so many troll comments that they had to delete. These changes really came about because there wasn't enough good reviews for the movie. And so a guy took offense to that, called me a troll and said I was had an agenda, stuff like that, simply because I said that there was not enough good reviews. And basically he was saying that I was trying to insinuate that it was talking about a particular, that this article or these changes happened because of a particular movie. And of course, everybody knows that yes, these changes did happen because of a particular movie. So eventually, the guy slipped up and admitted that he knew that the changes happened because of Captain Marvel. And I was like, so what was their point of getting upset with me then? But he bailed out of the conversation real fast. So, but anyway, let me just get to dragging this on too long. The part that I really wanted to share here was where I believe it's And the first, let's see here, is Rotten Tomatoes now features, no, that's not it actually. Maybe a little bit lower. You'll see user reviews. All right, at launch. Is this it? Well, basically, here's what they're going to do really quick. I'm just going to explain this. So you're going to see next to the tomato meter, you're going to see the verified audience score. And if you want to see the reviews from just normal people like before, you're going to have to click for more information or something like that. Basically, it's going to be hidden. It's going to be an extra step that you have to go through to see the real legitimate reviews. So part of what happened was they know that they got exposed because of what happened with Alita Battle Angel. Alita had a 94% audience rating, 94%, and the critic rating was like 59%, maybe 60 sometimes, and that made them look bad. It did. So that's another reason why they want to get rid of that, because they want to be able to control the audience score as well. So if they want to give a movie a 59% like they did with Alita, they don't want the audience to have a 94% exposing their bias. So let me get to this point down here. Okay, so here it is. So we've worked for some 21 years to ensure that the tomato meter is a trusted tool for those who want to know what critics think of movies and TV series. But the development of that trust didn't happen overnight. It was a process. We've been consistently evolving the tomato meter and how we select the critics whose opinions generated into meeting the times. So right there, they said that they select critics based on their opinions and how they can make those opinions or the tomato meter reflect the times that we live in, basically. So they decide what opinions are appropriate or right for the times that we live in. That's them right there admitting that they're not objective, that there's a bias, and that they and actually that they also admit that they know the power that they have to influence who goes to see a movie, and what they don't see. But right above that, it says, why introduce verified ratings and reviews? It's about giving fans the most useful tools possible when making their entertainment decisions. So we're going to give you the tool to help you decide what movie you want to see, and you are going to see the movie based on our opinions, based on what we think is appropriate to the times that we live in, basically. So that's them admitting their bias, and they can't afford to have another situation that happened with Alita, where we completely exposed Rotten Tomatoes for being a bunch of sold out shills. And it didn't help that they had critics or what do you call them, access media actually confessing to being suggestible, to giving fake reviews to movies in order to maintain their access. So anyway, this is going on way longer than I wanted it to. I knew it was going to be a rough video, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. So thanks for bearing with it. Thanks for listening, and talk to you later.